Hey, it's Night Tiger, and today I'm going to show you how to make beats in sort of like a yandere Ivy League ripsquad style, so let's get it. So first of all, I like to start with a piano sound, and specifically I want to start with the chords, because when you lay down the chords you pretty much get the foundation for the melody. You can kind of hear what the melody will sound like in your head. So I chose a very basic chord progression. For the piano sound I used the Japanese small hall preset from the Piano V2 VST from Arturia, and I layered some notes on top, just some notes that I thought sounded cool. And then you want a happy, very basic sounding melody on top. And the melody has to be sort of like happy sounding, like major in tonality. So I'm in F sharp major, so I'm using a lot of the F sharp note and the F note. And I also added some additional very basic notes on top, using a lot of the F sharp and the C sharp note. And if you watch my tutorials, you know that I really like layering sounds. So on top of that piano sound I just copied the entire melody and pasted it onto a serum preset. So just a very simple key sound. On top of that I wanted a simple pluck. But I also added a gross beat preset on it. Ripsquad and yandere really like using gross beat. I added another lead, this time a sine lead with a bit crush. That's used very often in the Ivy League scene. So you have a sine lead with bit crush, downsample distortion from serum, and a very simple pattern just emphasizing the fifth of my major scale. And then I added another lead. I like to think about yandere melodies as that you have two sounds that act as the main melody, and then you're just stacking leads on top of each other in plucks maybe. We have just two more leads. This one is a square lead, which also gets used really often in the yandere Ivy League style. You can probably notice that most of these yandere, Ivy League, ripsquad, even drinking melodies use a lot of the first of your major scale. So I'm in F sharp major, a lot of the first, so F sharp, a lot of the seventh, which is F, and also the fifth, which is C sharp. And emphasizing these three notes can really help to make your melody sound more drinking-y, more Ivy League. Last lead. And we also want a Reese bass, which is nothing complicated, it's just a Reese bass sound that follows the chord progression. And our melody sounds like this. A very simple hi-hat with a few rolls. If you're wondering why the hi-hat has reverb on it, we'll get to that in a second because that's really important. Simple open hat. Very simple clap. Snare. Then a kick pattern. Then I layered the kick with a crash sound, so I just copied the kick pattern and pasted it onto a crash. That really helps the drums stay a bit more energetic. And also very important for yandere beats is the stomps. So there's this one stomp sound in particular that gets used a ton. And what I did for this sound is I just copied the kick pattern and changed it up a bit, just the timings a little bit. And I actually used a very popular Chase the Money 808. Our drums should sound something like this. And now the reverb I was going to talk about. Yandere loves putting reverb on all of his drum sounds. It makes them sound really atmospheric. So what you want to do is route every single drum sound you have except for the 808 end kick, and you want to route them to another track. Don't unroute them from the master. Still have them on the master, but route them to a new track. And on this track, put a reverb. That can be even Fruity Reverb 2, which is the one I used. You want to have the wet up to 100% and dry to 0, just so the output of the plugin is just the reverb and nothing else. And you want to mess with the decay right here and the size right there. Once you're happy with how they sound, you put another plugin, this time an EQ. And what you want to do is cut off all of the low end from the reverb, because if the reverb has a lot of low end, it's just going to sound messy. That's my alarm clock, by the way. Sick, right? And also cut off some frequencies that you might not like, and maybe boost some of the ones you think sound cool. And you can just adjust the volume later with the mixer slider, right? You can maybe even make automation clips with this stuff, like make some crazy effects. That's a cool idea. Yandere likes using very big and wide transitions, so we're talking about something like this. Or like this. Remember to cut off all of the low end from these transitions so it doesn't get messy. And we also have some simpler effects like this one. Or this paper sound I found. And a cool riser. It's a really nice trick to put delay and reverb on your risers, and obviously cut off all of the low end, because that just makes them sound really cool with the drums. I really like to say that the arrangement doesn't matter as long as you're adding or subtracting sounds every 8 bars. So for the intro, I just like to have the piano melody playing. And obviously I like to separate each 8 bars with a riser of some sort, or a transition sound, or an effects sound. So then I'm adding the melodies, the rees and crashes and stomps, and the kick. Then I introduce another melody and all of the drums with a delayed drop on the 808 and the kick. Hi-hat pause right there. Then I introduce another melody, then I introduce another melody and also the open hat, and then I subtract all of these and leave some drums and the rees playing instead of the 808. And then the outro, so we just have a few melodies. And then with the master fading out, we just have the piano melody at the end. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any critique, tips, or tricks you like to use for your beats, then please share them in the comments. I really want to have a discussion. It's not like I know everything, and I would really like to learn from you guys and learn some more and share the knowledge in the next tutorials. Or if there's something you really liked about the tutorial, then also leave that in the comments so I can know what to work on and what to improve on. Thanks so much, and I'll see you very soon.